Now, welcome to another weekend ramble. Where this time, what do you got for us?
Well, I kind of want to talk more about this week's hot topic. I want to talk more about what Sharmeen had said. I know I got very upset and upset in
You were
the
very upset, yeah.
in the last video about what she said, and I'm still upset. I'm actually not taking any of that back. So don't make this isn't not an apology
video. No,
I'm not sorry for what I said. Just like I'm not sorry about anything I said about She-Hulk when it came out.
Nor should you be. That was not a good show.
But I want to talk about how things like this affect the financials of not just this company, but how it's been affecting companies overall.
Okay. What do you mean exactly?
Whenever somebody comes out and says something that is categorized as woke rhetoric, those companies are suffering. Bob Iger came out and said, we are steering in a new direction because he's realized how detrimental this has been for the Disney Corporation.
Well, that could have just been lip service, too. You could have just been trying to say that...
But you can't just say that and then allow this to happen with no repercussions. Because what she said, yes, you're allowed to toot your own horn and say, I'm the first, but you haven't done it yet.
This is true.
The movie is still years away from being done.
Yeah.
To say, I'm the first means it's finished and it hasn't started.
No, as far as we know, it's not even like pre-production yet. So I think that's supposed to be this year, early this year sometime is the rumor. Well, supposed release date is December of 2026. So you got a little less than 3 years to get this thing done.
I also think it was a bad move to bring in her in particular as a director for this big movie. This is such a huge movie. And what she has under her belt, because we've done our research and done some digging, she is a producer.
Well, she's a producer of documentaries,
yes,
mainly.
And she does, she does direct some of her documentaries, but she is a documentarian. She's not I do action movies and sci-fi movies.
Are you saying she's not qualified to do a Star Wars
She deals with fact more than fiction. And Star Wars is a fiction sci-fi universe.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, it's comparing apples to oranges, so I don't even know if she was originally the right person for the job. The only credit of note that she has under her belt is she directed a couple episodes of Miss Marvel.
Yes. And, I mean, she's dealt a lot with Pakistani issues. I believe her documentaries are about...
Which is why she was brought on for Miss Marvel.
Well, that's what I was going with. I mean, she's kind of documented, I think, the plight of Pakistani women, which is certainly a serious topic. I don't want to just, diminish... I haven't seen any of these documentaries, for better or worse, so I cannot judge them, but I don't want to diminish the struggles of, Pakistani women, for sure.
Absolutely.
However, I don't know that qualifies. Again, Miss Marvel, that's one thing. She was a Pakistani girl. Okay.
Makes sense. You're definitely going to be able to bring that culture forward because she knows how that culture works.
Exactly. And it felt, when we watched it, I don't think it was exactly, meant for me or even you necessarily, but it seemed authentic, right, to the culture. So that was cool. That was one of the things I actually appreciated about it.
I really liked how the family dynamic worked in the show.
Yeah. All that said, I don't know that your resume qualifies you to do Star Wars.
Is it just because Disney is like, well, you did a show for us and now we're going to... Like, what is the criteria for how they are choosing directors?
I don't think there is.
Because you can't say that she's like one of their rash choices, like a Taika Waititi, who he's the it guy.
Yeah, certainly. Taika, I mean, I don't like the choice, and you could argue it's not a good fit for Star Wars. You could argue it is, but he seemed like, okay, he's had some success. His name has... he's a prominent name in Hollywood these days, so okay, you're gonna take that name and you're going to bring him in and do a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, like when you bring in John Watts, when you bring in these writers or directors who came off of projects that were well loved. Okay, I totally get why you're bringing them in.
Yeah, I get hiring.
You want their name to help back the product.
Yeah, you hire Benioff and Weiss, who were responsible for arguably the biggest show in the history of television or
Sean
cable.
Levy.
Well, sure, yeah.
Yeah, you're getting people who have done things that people liked.
Yeah, recognizable, well-known names that have a track record, proven in the field, too.
So how is it that a movie that will define Star Wars possibly going forward, if Star Wars gets to go forward, how do you justify hiring Sharmeen for this when she does not have the film background? She's not an it person. What is she bringing to this project?
I think that's the $1,000,000 question, because we have to remember this will be the first Star Wars movie in
years.
7 years,
Yeah.
essentially. This is kind of a relaunch of Star Wars in the theaters. As long as this is the next movie, it could be the Dawn of the Jedi movie, it could be Filoni's movie. We don't know exactly what the schedule is, but assuming this is the next movie, this is kind of the movie that reintroduces, moviegoers to Star Wars, right?
This is supposed to bring us all back together to unite us under the blanket of Star Wars once again.
You would think at Disney and Lucasfilm, when they all get together and like, how do we solve the problem of Star Wars? Well, how do we make a movie that everybody's gonna like again? Like, what is our best bet to do that? And
this is the
I don't
time
think that's
where you give George Lucas a ton of money to come back and co-direct or something.
even to put his name on there as a producer or something.
To be like, okay, guys, George Lucas got in on this. He assisted with the writing. He assisted with this.
He co-wrote it. He's producing. He directed a little bit. He was on set. I mean,
because I would feel like this was an apology then to go, you know what, we're sorry we got off track. Here's George Lucas in to kind of help steer us to the right direction. We're going to learn from him while we have him. Instead, they're bringing in somebody who is not a well-known director. She kind of comes out of left field.
I love your idea, though. For all we know, they pitched it and Lucas said no.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not young anymore. He's like 80 years old, so it's...
Hey.
I mean, I know you're going to
go
that to John Williams
because he went into retirement and then came back and said, I'm canceling retirement. Yes. I don't want to be off the table if a project really stimulates
I'm not
me
saying
creatively.
just because you're 80 you couldn't still do it, but, a lot of people that age are probably about ready to retire.
They're ready to retire, but you can tell he has so much love and passion for what he does.
Oh, no,
he's
Williams, sure,
take my name off of retirement, I might still do stuff.
But I mean, contrary to popular belief, Lucas sold Lucasfilm because he wanted to spend time with his family. He wanted to step back from Star Wars. It wasn't because, people didn't like the prequels and he was all mad or anything like that. That's just one of those,
he knew we'd
urban legends. Yeah. But no, he sold because he wanted to spend time with his family. He was getting older and he wanted to spend his last years with them.
So I question Disney's decision entirely of bringing her into this project when this project hinges so much.
I mean, tinfoil hat conspiracy, this is a Disney decision, right? They were... you would imagine anything this major is, they're at the very least consulted and have to greenlight it, right?
I would hope so.
I mean,
they brought Bob Iger back partially to fix this sinking ship.
Well,
because Star Wars and Marvel were struggling, and those are big flagships.
Like, what do you do if Kathleen Kennedy goes rogue? And I don't, I'm not saying
feel like
this
that
is
happens.
Well, she went rogue in some ways, but what do you do if she just goes on Star Wars Celebration's main stage and says, we're making a Rey movie, and here's Daisy Ridley, and Bob Iger and the boys are like, what did she just say? How do you then, especially because we have now an openly feminist director who, if she gets shut down, she's certainly going to say, well, they don't want a woman directing the movie. She's even said something to kind of...
It's not like that.
No, I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying, like, if you want to put the conspiracy hat on, seems to be like Kennedy put Disney in a no-win situation here. Like, if they cancel this movie, she's going to be able to open up and say, well, they're canceling me because I was a woman and all this. But if the movie gets made, it's unlikely to do extremely well, right?
It just makes me mad because you can't keep using misogyny as an excuse.
You should have never used it in the first place.
No,
the problem.
You should never have used it as an excuse. Like, I don't care if the next Star Wars movie, if it's going to be this Rey Jedi Order movie. I don't care if a man or a woman directs it. I care about the story. The story is king. The story is what people will go to the theater for. The story is what brings you back to watch it a second, third time. That makes you buy the Blu-ray. That makes you want the action figures. The story is what does all that, not the director.
You mean like the original movies did? Yeah.
What? No.
I mean, well, the director plays their part. I know you're not trying to completely downplay, but
directors
I know
are very important to the
gender of
process.
the director is what you're saying, I think.
But it's all about their individual talents, skills, strengths, weaknesses.
Not based on,
Which should not be, shouldn't be based on what gender you are.
No, I think you make an excellent point. I don't think anybody, we've talked about it in the video the other day, I don't think anybody really cares.
No, I don't.
There's been many movies over the years where I sit down and I watch it and I don't know who made this movie. I don't know who wrote it. I don't know who directed it. I just watch it and go, oh, that was good or that was bad.
And I think that's what Star Wars needs to do. I think that's what a lot of movie studios needed to get back on track, to just settle down, let that go, find the best person for the job. If you're going to tell a Star Wars movie that fits in the vein of what she is known for, that's when you hire her. That's when you bring her on.
Well, sure, if she's got a proven track record, if she's done other shows or movies that, align with Star Wars, or just has an impressive resume overall of directing good films, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily even have to have directed something like Star Wars, but she has directed nothing of the sort.
No, her wheelhouse
some Miss Marvel,
does not exist in the sci-fi fantasy realm.
So how do you get that job? Like, how do you... That's what I want to know. Like, how did that even come about? Did Kennedy approach her? Or did she somehow come to Kennedy? Where does
it fit in? Where did it come from?
Yeah, how does that process work? Because we've seen recently some people throw their kind of name, into the hat and say, hey, I directed a Star Wars movie.
The John Wick guy.
John Wick director.
Just one of them, because we have seen a few people throwing their names in
Godzilla -1 director said, I would love to do it. And then after that movie, let's get him in there. Let's get the interview process rolling.
So I just want to know where these decisions come from. I know that they're not going to, send me an email. Hey, by the way, Sailor Naboo.
Yeah, well, let me clear.
This is why
Kennedy will give you a
call
and clear it up for you.
But in a current time, when Bob Iger has said that we have to steer away from stuff like that, and then it comes back and it slaps everyone in the face. Boom, here it is. It's right back in there.
That's where there's the conspiracy theory, right? That this is
do you think she'll stay on for this?
No, I don't think...
this is going to be... This is the thing that she said that topples her out of this.
I think Disney is better off saying no and making sure that this movie doesn't happen, or at least the movie that we think will probably come out of this, right? Which is, not probably going to be a movie that all fans, especially men, love and enjoy. I think Disney doesn't let it happen some way, somehow. I can't see it.
I feel like, and this is here's my tinfoil moment, because I love to have those tinfoil moments. What if Disney already approached her and said, we're going to go another way, we kind of changed the plans on what we want to do with this movie, and you no longer really fit as the director. So she and they're like, well, we haven't announced it yet because we're not going to announce it until we have a replacement, but you're done. Go ahead, feel free to look into what next projects you want to do.
Yeah.
So what if she turned around and goes, okay, well, I went on social media and now said this so that everyone can call me out, and I can call people misogynist, and I can bow down and play, I'm kind of sad. Look what I couldn't take the stress of this. Look what Star Wars did to me to move forward in her career.
That's a fun conspiracy, because
it's a conspiracy.
She just recently said something that ignited the entire fan base and pretty much internet on fire with her saying, well, it's about time. It's 2024. It's about time a woman comes forward to lead a galaxy or shape a galaxy far, far away.
But women have been shaping galaxy, both from their roles as actors and from their roles behind the camera.
Yes, but she's kind of, again, tinfoil conspiracy. She's kind of set it up where if she does get fired, she can point to that and say, oh, because the toxic male fandom reacted, you're firing me. So you're catering to the toxicity in the fan base.
Mm-hmm. She could be putting them in a vice.
She could be.
Obviously, I don't know enough about her to know what actions she could or would take. And this is just crazy tinfoil conspiracy time.
The problem is there have been so many directors and writers that have come and gone and been fired that why would she be any different? I mean, we've seen so many come and go.
That's true.
And have their movies. We had Lord Miller fired during the filming of Solo. Yeah. 2 white guys. So you can't really tell me that it's
Tony Gilroy coming to do last-minute rewrites and reshoots
Edwards,
who
replaced him. Yeah, so you can't really... You can, because, it works, but it really wouldn't hold up to scrutiny and logic to say that I only got fired because of this when they've fired dozens of other people at this point, it feels like. So, I don't know.
All I want is for Star Wars to be Star Wars. I
just want it to be good.
To unite them. It's not going to ever please everyone.
No,
to think that would be absurd. There's going to be little things and problems you can see, nitpick and everything. I just want to be back in the majority where everyone's kind of happy. Star Wars is moving in a great direction. It's fun to watch. And I just want to go back to that.
Yeah.
Or go forward to that. Movies need to get to that in general.
I feel like we're in a very bad time for movies.
It's like you have to go and see the off-cuff stuff to come out of a theater happy these days.
Or you go see Godzilla.
Go see Godzilla. I've heard great things about Wonka. We've not seen it yet, but if it's just a feel-good movie, that's what I would love.
Godzilla is a perfect example. It was just a fantastic story. I never once was thinking, oh, they're pushing the female lead, or the man's doing something stupid again because he's a bad man. No, it's just a great, well-written story.
And it's realistic in a way.
Well, yes,
Set in the time.
The human, the human and the time period, that's all the Godzilla part, maybe.
The emotions were there, yeah.
Hopefully not so realistic, but yeah, I get your point. All right, well, you know what? I think that's going to be all we got for you this time.
That's all I can take.
I know you're very, I mean, I'm not happy, don't get me wrong, but you are angry. Like,
well, I do get upset about things when I find them to be over the top like this. And as a woman, it upsets me when I hear a woman sit there and say, well, I'm the first at this. That's never going to push us ahead.
No, because
it's never going to get us true equality. We're never going to be equals to men if we have to sit there and every time we do something compare it to what men have done.
Yeah, that's not the way forward.
We just have to stand on our own 2 feet and make our own accomplishments and move forward.
Here's a crazy idea. Just celebrate the accomplishments of everybody or anybody who's done something noteworthy. Would not have to put the little asterisks next to it. Well, first woman to do this, because there's the first to everything, right?
I just think it sets us backwards.
No, I'm in agreement with you. I care about humanity, not the individual groups of people within it. That's, I mean, if we're going to have a bright, shiny future, like, we need to stop worrying about our little tribes or our little groups that we belong to and focus on making the world a better place for everybody. I don't know. My
channel deserves a better future.
Everybody deserves a better future than to just continually do things that try to divide us. I don't. That's you know, again, tinfoil conspiracy hat, but it feels like that's the whole intent, right? To keep everybody divided. While you know,
if we're all in our little groups, then we're fighting against each other. You're easier to
conquer, right? Divide and conquer.
Yeah. As long as we stay in our little tiny tribes.
Yep. As long as you hate that other side. Oh, the other side, they're all bad, and they couldn't possibly ever have done anything right or good, or they're all evil. Yeah. Keep believing that, and see where it takes us. Anyway. On that sour note, that's all we got for you this time. Sorry we're not so upbeat, but like I said, Naboo is not happy. And, well, this is just kind of the topic of the day, right?
Naboo picks the topics, and when Naboo is not happy...
No, you pick the topics. You have the helm of this channel. It is your channel, as I've said before. Channel. My name might be on it, but that's mainly to just draw in the people from the other channel.
Right. When the other channel has a lot more subs than this channel, it makes sense for me to try and... use your channel.
You're leeching off me. You're using me. See,
it's not like you aren't here. It's just you're not as important.
Wait a minute. No, it's our channel run by you. That's how I look at it. But anyway, I'm rambling. We're all rambling. Take to the comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.